There's one subject that we're constantly talking about, whether on the podcast or in our Partners of Commercial Fishermen community, and that is safety. And here's a hard truth. Did you know 8 out of 10 fishermen lost at sea weren't wearing a PFD? It's time to change that. At Kent Safety Products, they make life-saving gear designed for real fishermen. No bulk, no hassle. Just protection that works when you need it most. They also have the most Coast Guard approved PFDs on the market. So whether you're fishing in hot or cold environments, a fisherman can find one to fit their needs. And partners, let's just pause for a moment and think about how much it would ease stress to know that your fisherman is protected each time they go to sea. It's a lovely thought, right? And as a side note, we only partner with companies that have heart, those who truly want the best for our fishing communities and have high quality products. That's why I am proud to have Kent Safety Products as a sponsor. Visit kentsafetyproducts.com and find the right PFD for you and your fishermen. That's kentsafetyproducts.com. I'm Megan Waldrop, host of the Partners of Commercial Fishermen podcast, an extension of an online community for partners to connect and feel less alone. Our podcast invites fishermen, family, friends, and supporters of the industry to learn, laugh, vent, and hear stories about this incredibly unique way of life. What do you say? Let's dive in. Hey partners, I am so thrilled to have you back here again this week. And you know what? Last week was a powerful one. It was Boat Safety Week. We had an incredible podcast with Len Nelson of Kent Safety Products, who got into the nitty-gritty about PFDs and safety gear and how they develop them and how they can save fishermen and why choosing certain products over another is really important. And I just love this episode because it really is all about the knowledge and it's really all about the education. And honestly, it made me feel better about safety gear and made me feel less stress about my fishermen going out to sea because I knew what it all entailed. And I knew there were companies out there that really, really cared and want to develop products that are super high quality and are in constant research and constant reaching out to fishermen and other organizations to see how they can better serve the community. And that's why, by the way, that we partner with them. I really, really love Kent Safety because they genuinely care about the commercial fishing community and they have high quality products. And so I'm only going to bring y'all sponsors and people that we partner with who are of that level. We only want to be with people who care about our community as much as we do. And today, this episode is for the POCFs out there because this is a very powerful episode that can save your fisherman's life and bonus, significantly reduce a POCF stress each time their fisherman leaves the dock. I mean, this is the thing. When people ask about partners of commercial fishermen, what's it like? They want to know what it's like to be a partner of a commercial fisherman from all levels. So I say, first of all, we're freaking amazing and very special and unique and powerful and strong and independent. And I can go on and on and on. Intelligent, smart, all of the things. But the one thing that unites us, it doesn't matter what hemisphere we're in. It doesn't matter how long you've been with a fisherman for the first season or for the 40th season. The number one topic on our brain every time they step on the boat is their safety. I know it might get easier to be able to work through that anxiety and that stress, but it's still present. It doesn't matter how long you've been with them. That little flash will come through and you're like, oh my God, let me regulate myself. They're okay. Let me put trust in the universe and trust in their ability to fish safe and, pray and move on with my life or else I'll lose my shiz. Like really, that's what I tell people. And if you're not spiritual or religious, I know other POCFs do visualization methods. There's one POCF, she's a 4th generation. She says that she visualizes her partner's boat as a cork, an unsinkable cork on the ocean. And that's the power and the manifestation she puts out there. And I love that we have different ways to feel that connection and safety to our fishermen. Another partner of a commercial fisherman has a little LED lantern that she lights at her house every time he goes to sea and turns it off when he comes back. I really love that too. It's such a beautiful visual and it makes you feel connected. However, guess what? There are ways that we can take this up a notch by influencing our fishermen to wear safety gear. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to say I haven't even really thought about this until now. Hello. How many times have I stressed about Chris's safety since I first met him? Well, I guess since I first met him, I didn't really know what it was like to be a fisherman. He said, I'm going to Alaska for 3 months to go fish sockeye salmon. I'm like, what is sockeye salmon, first of all? And what does that even look like? It took me a whole year until Bree Dwyer, a POCF Bree Dwyer, who jumped on the boat. Her husband is a tender during that season and tenders the fish, which means collects fish from the boats and delivers them to the processors. That she jumped on the boat and was taking photos, and that I knew what he actually did out there. I had no idea, but it was hilarious because Chris, I've told the story before. Chris said, yeah, there was a woman today who came on the boat and took pictures of us. And, I'm a year and a half, almost 2 years into dating him. And I'm like, who is this chick? Like, first of all, who is this chick on the boat? Why is she taking photos / can I see these photos immediately? Because I was writing about the lifestyle. I just started writing about what it was like to be with a fisherman. I think I was like 2 blog posts in, or I definitely had the 9 things you should know when dating a commercial fisherman. That's the OG. And I was just going to do a little blog series, like 3 or 4 more about the lifestyle. And it happened to be the time when Bree was out there. And so that was the first time I ever saw what he did. And I'm like, wow, that is so incredible. He is working his butt off out there. I mean, just had no clue. And then almost 10 years later, I didn't realize that my anxiety could have been way less reduced had I had these conversations that we are going to share today with my fishermen. Because I learned that the number one reason that fishermen wear safety gear is because, drum roll, because their partners tell them to. And the number 2 reason is because their kids tell them to. Because their kids tell them to. I'm getting all excited here, y'all. But it's true that we can make a difference in saving our fishermen's lives by having conversations about safety gear so that they'll actually wear it, not just buy it and throw it on the boat to appease us, but like actually wear it. And I know what you're thinking, like, I don't want to be pushy or naggy to my fishermen. And, I've had this conversation kind of before and, it didn't really go anywhere. But guess what? It's okay to be persistent. There's a difference between persistence and being pushy or nagging. And that's what we're going to get into today. But the bottom line is that safety starts with love. So let's love on our fishermen, shall we? And as we learned last week, if you followed along on social media, so many great posts. I've really loved the interactions that I've received and gotten in the comments just to see how people are becoming more aware, and even personal stories. And how we can encourage our fishermen to wear safety gear, especially the PFDs, which is a personal flotation device. It means listening to them, and it means addressing their experience and their body type. And most of all, practicality. We don't want the safety gear to become we don't want it to become a hazard on the boat. We don't want it to be something that gets in the way when they're trying to pull up the traps or bring in, get it caught in the hauler, or who knows what else. But guess what? There's so much gear out there that doesn't do that. They work very, very hard to make sure that happens. Ken Safety Products is a huge gear company that does that all the time. They're constantly tweaking to make sure it's better. So today we're talking about the messages and conversation starters that can help get the point across that you love them and you want them home safe after each trip. So let's get down to it. First, I want to share a few comments from Instagram from last week's Boat Safety Week campaign, because I love that people are talking about it, both POCFs and fishermen alike. The first comment was, great post. I should consider changes to the standard operating procedures. This is a fisherman, a well-known fisherman in Santa Barbara. Hell yes. Thank you for leading the way with that example. Another one said, maybe we'll do a similar post. This is a POCF. Maybe we'll do a similar post. This is really good, especially when they are fishing alone. It scares the heck out of me. Girl, yes. That is the one thing. When Chris says, deckhand's sick, I'm going to go out by myself. I'm like, oh, I mean, just, I don't even need to go on. I know that you know. And here's another really sad comment that just really hit my heart. She said, my dad may have possibly survived his boat crash had he been wearing his life vest. It's easy to get complacent with years of experience. And I think having this talk with your partner is a great step to keep awareness with safety first and foremost. Ugh, That really hits home because here's the startling statistic. 8 out of 10 fishermen who were lost at sea were not wearing safety gear. That's 80% of people who fell overboard did not make it home. Okay, sorry, I'm getting all emotional. But y'all, we can change that. And here's how. Like I said, we are the number one reason that fishermen wear PFDs. All right. The kids are number 2. POCFs are number 1 for many reasons, and especially this one. So first, remember that safety, it starts with love, not fear. And we got to start with love, not fear, when we're having these conversations. So here's a convo prompt. I know you're incredibly skilled out there, but I worry sometimes. It would give me such peace of mind knowing that you're wearing a life vest, just in case. Number 2, highlight their importance at home. You know, you're everything to this family. I just want to make sure you're doing everything possible to come home safe to us. Aren't these good? Number 3, ask and don't lecture. So you can say, can I ask what kind of safety gear you feel comfortable wearing? Are there any options out there that work better for how you fish? And this is the thing. Somebody who's fishing out in Alaska in the wintertime is not going to have the same safety gear as someone fishing in the Gulf Coast or in the Southeast during the summertime. I mean, those are 2 planet distance environments, heat, cold. And there is safety gear out there that meets both of those weather requirements. And on top of that, different body types. That's what I learned through last week's conversation was the body type. I didn't even consider that. It's like obviously not one size fits all. And that goes for men and women, but there are options out there for body types and environments. Number 4, involve your fishermen in solutions. You can say, I read about some new PFDs that are way less bulky. Would you be open to checking them out together sometime? That's sweet, right? Number 5, you can use real life stories to spark awareness. You could even use the comments that we just shared too. So I saw an article about fishermen who went overboard but survived because they were wearing a flotation bib. It made me think, what would you do in that situation? Let the silence in the question kind of fuel their answer. Like, oh, shiz, what? I'm not invincible? No, we're not, unfortunately. As you know, safety is one of our biggest concerns as partners of commercial fishermen. So if you or someone you know has been injured while working on the fishing vessel, you don't have to navigate it alone. Do you know your rights and what happens after an injury? Would you like proactive legal education before issues arise? Need expert guidance before making decisions that could impact your case? Attorney Michael Flynn has been fighting for injured fishermen for decades. And as a side note, we only partner with sponsors who genuinely care about commercial fishing families, which is why I'm proud to introduce Michael as a sponsor of the POCF community. You can contact him today for a consultation at flynnworkus.com. That's FLYNNWIRKUS.com. And tell him that the Partners of Commercial Fishermen sent you. Number 6, acknowledge their experience and then add perspective. You could say, I trust your instincts out there. You've been doing this a long time. I just think even pros need backup. And that's what safety gear is. It's backup. And by pros, I mean seasoned fishermen. Number 7, emphasize the crew and setting an example. All the captains out there, even the crew. I mean, anybody out there, you can set an example. You could say you've got a younger crew watching you or your crewmates are watching you. You wearing gear can make it more normal for everyone to stay safe. Normalize wearing safety gear. What people are going to tease you for wanting to stay alive for your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Like let's bring it back down to what really, really matters. Number 8, frame it as a team decision. We're in this life together. When you're out there, it feels like my heart's on that boat too. Let's both agree on what safe enough really means. Whew, that one got me too. And number 9, keep it simple and direct. Will you please wear your life jacket? It matters to me and your children, child, family, more than you know. Instead of being like, which I feel like I want to say, wear your effing life jacket. Like that's how we feel maybe inside, or that's how I feel. But these convo prompts are going to make the conversation way more smooth. And actually, this kind of conversation prompts I'm bringing into when we talk about finances, I'm talking and we talk about our relationship. It's that gentle encouragement. It's that gentle encouragement and respecting them. I'm obviously respect number one. And even though we're like, put the freaking jacket on at all times, I need a selfie with the jacket. I'm going to check in with you to see how the jacket's going. I mean, that's what we want, right? But how cool would it be to know that they were wearing it out there? Oh my God, I would feel so much better. All right, we're going to keep going. Let's just keep going. Like, let's just put it all out there. So we're going to bust myths about safety gear. When they say, I don't need it, I don't need it. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I don't need a PFD. I don't need anything that's going to get in my way, blah, blah, blah. Okay, number one. Or is this number 10? Anyway, I'm just going to say number one now because we're busting myths. You can say, well, listen, a PFD won't slow you down. It keeps you in the game. Because guess what? You did. You're not playing anymore. Like, game over. Okay, don't say that part, but I'm just saying between me and you. Because modern PDFs are designed PFDs. Oh my gosh. I hope I've been saying PFDs this whole time. Modern PFDs are designed for mobility and comfort. Wearing one doesn't mean you're less capable. It means you're prepared to keep working even if something goes wrong. So a PFD won't slow you down. It keeps you in the game. Because the modern ones, they're not the big orange boxy that looks like yoga blocks that are sitting on their shoulders. There's so many different ones out there. And actually, Chris brought this up to me. When we lived on a sailboat, we traveled for 2 years on a sailboat from Washington State down to Baja, Mexico, all throughout the Sea of Cortez. We were wearing Kent safety PFDs the whole time. I didn't even realize that until recently. And we have them now in our garage, and it's great. I love that we've had Kent since the beginning of our relationship. Honestly, it was the first PFD I wore. I digress. Okay, number 2, busting myths. I don't need to wear gear. Oh yeah? Well, guess what? No, I'm kidding. I just got pissed. They're like, I don't need it. You can say, you know what? You're more likely to drown from falling overboard than from any storm or sinking boat. I mean, let's just get down to brass tacks. Most commercial fishing deaths are from falls overboard, and a PFD is your lifeline, even in calm water. I mean, boots fill with water. It makes it more difficult to stay afloat while you're waiting for assistance or to get back on your vessel, okay? Like, these are thoughts. They're real, actual stats. They're not just opinions. Here's one. This was my favorite. When I was like, Chris, what are your plans? Like, what happens? What are you going to wear safety gear? What's the deal? He said, just don't fall overboard. I'm like, that was the boat rule. Don't fall overboard. I'm like, cool. Well, guess what? Number 3, you're not planning to fall overboard. Nobody does. And safety gear is like insurance. You don't wear it because you expect you need it. You wear it because the risk is real in this industry. 8 out of 10 fishermen, 80%. That's a lot. 80%. Here's another one, number 4. Your family wants you home every trip because it's not just about you, fishermen. It's about the people who count on you. We love you. We're not sorry about it. Okay? Number 5, almost every fisherman who drowned wasn't wearing a PFD. Wearing a PFD increases your chance of surviving overboard by 80%. I'm just going to keep that stat going. Because they're stark. You know, you fall into cold water without a PFD, it can be fatal in minutes. You know, cold water is not relenting at all. And also the thing is, you know, I was thinking, yeah, if he falls overboard, you know, he might be able to swim to the boat. Then what is the sea state at that point? Like, what are the waves? What's the current like? Like, we don't know. This is where the PFD comes in because that is going to give them a better chance to survive. Number 6, more fishermen are wearing PFDs now because they've seen too much. You know, tough, experienced fishermen are choosing to wear gear that keeps them alive. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. I love that. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. And number 7, you're too good to lose to something preventable. Your life is more than any reason not to wear one. Your loved ones are counting on you. So I feel like the beginning was like, oh, here's a little, you know, I'm going to push you in a little, I don't know why I want to say Easter egg, a little nest. Here's a little trust tree, the nest, like the encouragement. The next ones are like, if they really start to get into why they don't need to wear one, then you can bust the myth and be like, listen, bud, all right, I love you. Here's how, this is actually how it is right now. I hope this has been helpful. And also, it will, I don't mean to scare you, because guess what? We already have that. We already have that fear that we work through every time they leave. So I'm not trying to enhance that. I'm trying to educate us and give us more knowledge so we can go forward and talk to our fishermen about why it's so important and why, honestly, it's not that big a deal to just wear the PFD. It's going to make life for everyone so much better because it will save a life. It has the potential to save your fisherman's life, and it has the potential to ease your stress, and it has the potential to comfort your children to know that you're wearing a PFD. I mean, everyone wins here. And you can find the one that works for you. Find the one that works for you. This is why we love Kent Safety Products. They have the most Coast Guard approved gear on the market in the world. You can go to kentsafetyproducts.com. And also, you can listen to the whole conversation with Len Nelson of Kent Safety Products on the podcast. It was last week's episode number 108. Shout out to that. We are over 100 episodes. Whoop, whoop. And like I said, we only partner with companies who genuinely care. And that's why we love Kent Safety. And that interview with Len is the reason why. I mean, it's so many conversations that I've had with them behind the scenes before this interview just shows how they genuinely care. It's not just about selling product. They actually are saying, look what we have. We have a catalog, a literal catalog of products out there, high quality. We've talked to fishermen about it multiple times. We've talked to multiple organizations, how to perfect this, how to make it so we are making gear that people actually put on their bodies and not just buy to appease their partners or buy to appease the Coast Guard regulations. Because this is the thing. In the United States, fishermen are not required to legally to wear PFDs. And when I was on the webinar with the UK women in fisheries, their mouths dropped when they heard that, because all fishermen in the UK are required to wear PFDs. In Canada, they are required to have them on board, from my understanding, but they do not have to wear them. But guess what? This could be a requirement for each family out there. We can get them in personal flotation devices because we want them alive and we want them to obviously continue to love fishing. Can you imagine a fisherman falls overboard, survives, they can keep fishing? That's another way we could get them in there. How can we keep this conversation going with love? It starts with love. And the number one influence it's us. It's Partners of Commercial Fishermen. We are so much more powerful than we think. And this is a perfect example of that. And I'd love to know which conversation starter felt most helpful for you. Was there one that stuck out, or maybe one that you've talked to your fishermen that worked? Oh my God, I would love to know which conversation starter actually got your fishermen to wear gear, to buy the gear. Oh man, that would be great. You can DM me at megan.waldrop on Instagram, or you can email me directly at support@pocf.com. If you're on Instagram, you could screenshot the episode and write a little note about what helped. Spread the word. It's not just for our fishermen, it's for other fishermen in our community. If you have a family of fishermen, I know there's a lot like sons and fathers and daughters working together. Let's get them all protected, y'all. Let's just reduce that statistic, and we can do that because it starts with love. Safety starts with love. And most of all, the reason we're having this conversation is because I love you and I love our community. And I love that we get to share this incredible life together that only we truly understand. And I wouldn't change it for the world to have this experience. It's just, what an adventure. Let's keep it going. Thank you so much for being here. With love and POCF pride. Till next time. Thank you so much for listening. To support our community, I'd so appreciate it if you'd tap the subscribe button to this podcast or write a review. And if you're a POCF who wants to connect further, go to POCFpride.com for weekly vlogs and to learn about opportunities to join our private communities. We'd love to have you.